guys, so what we're going to talk about today is basically one of the most powerful palettes within InDesign. Alright, so as some examples here as far as what we're going to be talking about is the idea that, well, InDesign has the capability of manipulating pages, rearranging things. So, as a primary example, let's say you are working on a 120 page catalog, and the client comes to you and says, hey, I want section 3, which is pages 23 through 35, moved to after 82. So it's like what we can do is you may freak out thinking, all right, well, let's add more pages after 82, and then we'll copy and paste everything into those, which can be an unusual amount of work that is needed to do that. So InDesign has the capabilities of actually rearranging pages without you having to do much other than just move the pages around. So what we're going to talk about today is one of the most powerful palettes within InDesign, and that is called the Pages palette. So if you do not have pages up, you can go up to Window. There's the option of Pages. So if you click that, what you're going to see is a kind of like a small thumbnail view of what the document has in it. As you can see on the side here, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I can pan down and you can see what I did create is like these 8 pages that have numbers in them. Each number represents a different page number. So in the sense of what if you wanted to move page 4 to just before 2? Okay, what we can do is you can do that within the Pages palette. So if you go over here where the Pages palette is and you'll see that there is 4, and I'm going to move it before 2, you can click, hold, and drag till you see a line show up just to the left of 2, and then let go, and you'll see that now 4 is before page 2. Okay, so you can kind of see that. You can rearrange any of these. So it's like, what if I wanted 6 in between 3 and 5? So 6, and I can basically move my cursor, and you'll see a dark line show up. I let go there, and it will automatically shift to the next page. So it's going to fit these in. So it's really nice. It moves all the content in there just as you want. Here's a little trick though. All right, here's a little caveat. All right, let's say for instance you're designing a page much like this. So we're going to basically go, as you remember me saying, if you have some kind of color, you always want to go beyond the page boundary or before it, but never right to it. So here we're going to create a colored bar that stretches 2 pages. So I'm going to basically put a color in here, fill it with something, and there I am. All right, I've got a blue bar that spans both pages. All right, so which is all fine and dandy. It looks really nice. But client says, hey, let's move what was on page 4 to where it says between 5 and 6 here. So you think, okay, great, that's easy. I can go to the Pages palette. And I'm going to move page 4 to between 5 and 6. And you look, and then what happened to the bar on page 2? It's gone. Instead, it moved down to where page 4 was because that bar is connected with both of these, to span 2 pages. It is connected to this page 4. So it didn't actually work. So I'm going to go ahead and undo, move pages. So how do you combat that? Well, if there's a slight bit of knowing that there might be a page that's moving, you want to go ahead and kind of like split these blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the blue here, and I'm going to bring this in till it meets the very edge of that page. Then what I can do is I can go edit, copy, and then I can go edit, paste in place, and then it's basically put a duplicate of that shape on there. And I'm going to take this side, click, hold, drag till it's off there, And then I want to just make sure it is on page 2. So now I've done that. It's basically 2 blocks, but it looks like it's 1. So now when I go to page 4 and I move it between 5 and 6 or 5 and 7, all right, what you see is page 2 kept it, page 4 kept that too. So let's split that up. Now, in some cases like that, if you are moving it like this, you can kind of see that, this bar bleeds into 3 and it goes right to the edge of 2. As you know, you want to expand those to make sure that they are not intersecting. So you may have to do a little bit of adjusting, but that's okay. It's better than having to actually put all your contents on there. All right. So there also is another option as far as like, what if you have a client who says, hey, you're doing a 120-page catalog and you have a web address on one page, on all left side pages, and then you have a phone number on all right side pages. What do you do then? All right, so if you're doing a 120-page catalog and you meticulously put each one of those in on every page throughout those whole 120 pages, and then the client says, hey, the web address is wrong. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just put it on 60 pages, plus some other ones. So you can, InDesign has the option of search, like find and replace. However, in some cases, you may not have that luxury. Like, what if you have a certain box that's somewhere that you want it to be a certain color that's consistent on every page? All right, InDesign has what is called master pages. All right, master pages allows you to kind of like put elements that are common on other pages, kind of like a template per se. So what we're going to do is up here in the pages palette, you're going to see that what's called an A master, and you're going to see 2 white blocks. So if I go ahead and double click that, you can kind of see that what's happening here is I have these 2 blocks. There are no more pages. You can see that basically there's no more numbers on them, but this is a separate area from this document. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put in a web address. So I'm going to make a text box, and I'm going to type out web address, webaddress.com. All right, I'll select all. I'm going to go to my properties tab, and I'm going to make it centered, and I'm going to increase the type size just so you guys can see it. I normally would probably not do it that big. All right, so I'm going to have the web address on all left side pages, and then on the right side pages, I'm going to put the phone number. So each side represents the left and the right of the page. So phone number is 123-456-7890. Okay, great. All right, so we got that. Works out great. Okay, now how do I get back to my page? How do I get back to my pages to find out if they're actually working? Well, if I go to my pages palette where I was, you're going to see instantly there are these black bars on it because those black bars actually represent what you just put there. So if I double click on 2, I am back to my document. So you can kind of see that there's a web address, phone number, web phone, web. So this is where it gets very convenient. Like, what if you wanted to change the phone number? All right, the client wanted to change the phone number on the side. All right, so if you go to your master pages, double click on those again, you get this. All right, so instead of 123, it's called 456-789-1234. Okay, so that's the right number. So now I go back to my pages, and now each one of the pages are changed to reflect what I did in the master page. All right. So client says, well, what if on page 3, I just want to change that one number here to a different one? It's like, okay, not a problem. All right. But now looking back, I go to my master page, and then I'm saying, oh, I change it, and it's going to change it for all pages. All right, so you think, all right, great. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to change the number. So you think, all right, take my text tool, and then you can't click on it. All right, you can't click on it. You take your black arrow, you double click on it. It's not happening. It's kind of like locked, in a sense. All right. So what do you want? What do you need to do when it comes to those instances? Well, what you can do is you can break it away from the template. So like on page 3, we want the phone number to change to something different. All right. So what I can do is I can hold down the let's see, the Shift Control key on a Windows platform. I believe it's a Shift Command on a Mac. One of those, Shift Control or Command on a Mac. But on Windows, it is Shift Control. And when you click on it, basically that breaks it away from the template. So I can change this to a different number, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, just like so. And you notice it's not changing on any of the other pages. And it's just like that. It is broken away. So this particular page does not take in that particular element on the template, or on the master page. All right, so I can break them away. All right, so that's like what we can also do with certain instances is like if you're going ahead and rearranging pages, one of the things that may need to change is, let's say you are rearranging whole sections in a 120-page catalog. And what you did is meticulously put in page numbers into your document. You see where I'm going with this? Page numbers on each one. Okay, that's wonderful. That means you have to go through all your 120 pages and renumber each of the wrong page numbers, which can take a lot of time. All right, and there's no find and replace for that one. But what we can do is we can actually allow InDesign to do most of the work. So if I go to my master page here, and what I can do is I can create a text box right where my page number is going to go. All right, but instead of putting in a number, I'm going to put in a special item. All right, I'm going to go up to Type, Insert Special Character, Markers, and there's an option called Current Page Number. So it's under Type, Insert Special Character, Markers, and Current Page Number. So if I go ahead and click on that, you'll notice that a little A shows up. And I'm going to increase that to whatever I want. And I'm going to change the font to something else too, because you can do that. All right. And I want one for that side, and I want one from the other side. So I'm going to copy and paste this one. But I'm going to make this one go to the right. Just like so. All right, so I have those page numbers. So the A actually represents, if you notice up here where it says A master, A is actually the prefix. Master is what kind of page it is. So like the A is actually the template. You'll notice that even on the all the pages, you'll find that there's an A in each one of the corners, which represent that particular master page. So now if I go to my page 1, you'll notice that there is 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 6, 4, 2. All right, so you notice those are page numbers. So this is how convenient it is if I go ahead and start rearranging pages to kind of like reflect those different things. I'm going to really mess this up. I should have page numbers still in the same order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that makes it really convenient if you're changing around whole sections of a document, and that will allow you to actually have it InDesign do the work for you in renumbering those pages. Okay. All right, so I'm going to quit there. So I will have another exercise in the next video. Other than that, have a good day.